always say that you should hold your representatives accountable. Now, some people have been doing that, and AOC has been one of the ones that has been targeted by her representatives, or excuse me, her constituents in her district. And so is Jamaal Bowman. And recently, there was another event. Now, this was a Democrat fundraiser event. And Daniel Burke, he's one of the people that approached him here. He's not the only one. Daniel Burke and RTSG went to a Democrat fundraiser hosted by AOC and Senator Schumer and Jamaal Bowman, New York, to demand they pull humanity back from the brink of a global nuclear war. So listen to this. Again, they're at a fundraiser. They got time to fundraise, though. I told you, they always got time to give me your money. They got time for that. So they're at a fundraiser here in New York. I believe, I'm going to point people out really quick. That's AOC. I believe this looks like Chuck Schumer. And I think this is Tiffany Cabin. Now, Tiffany Cabin, she's run for office before. I think she ran for local office in New York. But let's go ahead and play this, because Jamaal Bowman was confronted twice, two different situations, two different subjects. So I'm going to show you the first one, then I'm going to show you the second one. And then I have an article that I'm going to show you that basically gives more evidence for the second one. So let's go in.
Congress members, when are you going to pull us back from the verge of nuclear war? In October, these progressives said there's a threat of nuclear war. We need to sue for peace between Russia and Ukraine. They retracted it. When will you come to the table like President Lula has, like Pope Francis has? Are you a Catholic? He's calling for a peace summit.
We got you.
See? This is the arrogance that Glenn Greenwald was referring to when I interviewed him recently. This is exactly what he was talking about. Yo, man, we got you. It's not even what he said. It's the way he says it. Watch it again.
Are you a Catholic? He's calling for a peace summit.
We got you.
The arrogance. They're so cocky now. I can't believe these are some of the people that a lot of us canvass for, phone banked for. I can't believe it. They're so cocky now. They're so arrogant. How dare you approach them in a certain way? How dare you ask them questions? How dare you videotape them? They don't mind jumping on camera for anything else. They don't mind going on to Pod Save America. They don't mind going on to CNN. They don't mind going to these fundraisers and try to raise some money. But how dare you, their constituent, ask them these tough questions? Now he said, we got you. You got him how? How do you got him if you keep voting for more and more money going to Ukraine? How you got him? You can see he's angry. Look, he pissed. He getting tired of it. He's getting tired of people saying these things to him. They seem to think because they're politicians that they can just do what they want. They're in office, and we have no right to ask them questions nowadays. This is exactly how they feel. Exactly, Carmen. We got you. Now shut up. Exactly.
Schumer is taking us to nuclear war. We are going to nuclear war because of these bastards. Are you going to wake up, people?
Remember, these people who are at this event, this is a fundraiser event. All these people care about is money. That's all they don't care about what he said. Obviously, if you're dead because of a nuclear war, it doesn't matter. This stuff doesn't matter. But Jamaal Bowman, his attitude. Look, yo, man, we got you. Let me say what I gotta say first, man. But even when people have done that and they let him speak first and then they ask these questions, he still gets upset. The thing is, he don't want to answer it. He don't want to answer it. I've seen multiple videos like this going back a couple of months ago where when he was approached by people in his district, they were actually pretty nice to him. I've seen multiple ones where the people walked up to them and just said, "Can I talk to you about this?" And he still had an attitude. The thing is, he don't want to talk about it because he know he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing if you're a Justice Democrat. And he's mad because you're calling him out on his BS. That's what the problem is. Let's go on.
It's taking us to nuclear war. We are going to nuclear war because of these bastards. Are you going to wake up, people?
No, we're not going to wake up.
Some woman says, no, we're not going to wake up. This is how delusional the American people are. American people are so propagandized. They're so heavily propaganda. They really think if they just sit here and raise some money to help the Democratic Party, everything's going to be all good.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. All right.
So, as I was saying,
anyway. Once we won, we said we're not going to stop. We just put the crack in the dam. And now we're going to go for the whole damn thing.
What are you talking about? She said, once we won, we just put the crack in the dam. Now we're going to go for the whole damn thing. We told you we're not going to stop. Stop doing what? You haven't done anything. Stop doing what? What have you done besides being a strike breaker? What have you done besides not forcing the vote for Medicare for all during a pandemic? What are you talking about? You haven't done shit.
So do you think you're going to win a nuclear war then?
Please.
Mr. President Lula da Silva from Brazil said that he wanted countries to meet together for peace.
What does he have to do with it?
Right, because I'm telling you, because she's the woman who's sending my money to go to Ukraine so that we can have a nuclear war.
See, the people here at the event, you're at a fundraiser event, and the question asked is, what does she even have to do with this? You guys showing up there donating money to people and you don't even know how they vote. You're voting based on optics. Let me donate money to you because you say you're progressive. What does she even have to do with this? See how people just easily just give their money. Won't get my money. Won't get mine anymore. If anything, y'all owe me money. Seriously.
So do you think you're going to win a nuclear war then?
Please.
Mr. President Lula da Silva from Brazil said that he wanted countries to meet together for peace.
What does he have to do with it?
Right, because I'm telling you.
See? He said, what does she have to do with this?
Because she's the woman who's sending my money to go to Ukraine so that we can have a nuclear war.
Is it okay if we go down?
But listen, I have a question though, because the Pope and President Lula are desperately trying to keep us from dying in a nuclear apocalypse. Oh my goodness. The muscle is out here. No, but I'm serious. If I die in a nuclear war, I guess that's better, right? Because we've got the AOC and everybody's cheering on and we get to talk about local politics while she sends $100 billion into Ukraine for the war.
Thank you, Father.
What's up, dude?
Yep.
But Bowman, I told you already, and you endorsed Diane Sayre.
Yep. I mean, he's not wrong. That's right, LB. Brainwash sheep. Really, really much so. Half the people there, I'd say this much. Half the people there are probably donating money. The other half are probably there just to take pictures. They want to say that they took pictures with AOC or they shook hands with Chuck Schumer. Isn't that sad that politicians have basically become celebrities? The cult of celebrity. But that wasn't the only time. Because also, Jamaal Bowman was also confronted over Joe Biden trying to privatize Medicare. This is a good one. I hope you guys can hear it. I'll pull up the volume a little bit higher on this one. But this came from Lucy. So Lucy said Jamaal Bowman here claiming he doesn't know what ACO reach is. Biden's plan to hand over Medicare to Wall Street. Come on, man, just trust me. So listen to this. I think this is Roger Meadows in this video. I might have to make this one a little bit louder. Hold on.
Organization. I forgot what he stood for. A couple of weeks ago, he started this program, and he's putting Medicare on the verge to hand it to Wall Street. I want to know what you guys are doing about it. So it sounds like to me this is the first time you're hearing about it.
So if you can't really hear, I'm going to tell you what he said because I've already listened to this a couple times. So what he's saying is that Joe Biden is trying to privatize Medicare. So Roger said, yes, it is him. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Roger in the house. He's saying Joe Biden is trying to privatize Medicare. And he's asking Jamaal Bowman, I just want to know if you're going to do something about it, because it seems like this is the first time you're hearing about it based on Jamaal Bowman's reaction. Now, is Roger yelling at Jamaal Bowman? No. Okay. Watch this.
You're doing something. I gotta stay.
What are you doing?
Don't worry about it, man. Don't approach me with this energy, man.
You see what I mean? I told you it doesn't matter how you approach him. This is a perfect example. So again, he said, we doing something about it. You didn't even know about it until Roger mentioned it to you. What do you mean you're doing something about something you didn't know about? So he says, we're doing something about it. Don't approach me with this energy, man. Don't come at me, man. Don't come at me with this energy. You can't yell at him. You can't speak quietly to him either. You got to come at him with a certain type of energy, according to him. Look, watch.
You're doing something. I gotta stay. What are you doing? Don't worry about it, man. Don't approach me with this energy, man.
You see, we doing something. Don't worry about it. If he is in your district, he should worry about what you're doing legislatively.
Approach me, say hello, Congressman Bowman. How are you? It's a pleasure to meet you. There's something I want to bring to your attention in case you don't know. There's this thing called and it's something you should look at because I'm very concerned about that. Do it that way. Don't approach me trying to bat me in the corner and you got somebody recording me and it's like trying to get me whatever. Don't do that. Approach me with like respect. So I haven't heard of this.
He said, approach me with respect. This is how you do it. Say, hey, here, I'll take it back. Listen.
Bring to your attention in case you don't know. There's this thing called and it's something you should look at because I'm very concerned about that. Do it that way. Don't approach me trying to bat me in the corner and you got somebody recording me. And
you should be backed into a corner at this point because you guys have been ignoring independent media up the wazoo. You guys have been doing everything that you can to avoid having these conversations, the tough conversations, taking tough questions. You know, you decided to run for office. You decided to be a politician. This is something that you wanted to do. Now, because you're not doing your job, and the same people who canvass for you and help you get elected that you want to brush off and try to be cocky and tell them how to approach you, now when they come to you with questions, it's a problem. So he said they doing something about it. Come to me with some respect. Don't back me into a corner. Let's go on.
It's like trying to hit it, whatever. Don't do that. Approach me with like respect. So, I haven't heard of this. I've heard of Medicare Advantage, which looks to be doing the same kind of stuff.
Now, someone explained this to me. He said that he hasn't heard of it. He heard of Medicare Advantage, which seems to be doing a similar thing. Who's in office? Roger Meadows or Jamaal Bowman? Why is it that we know about this, but the people who are there don't know about it? And this isn't new, because I'm about to show you an article that was written about this over a year ago. So you mean to tell me Jacobin, the lever, me, all the rest of us who have reported on this, that Joe Biden's trying to privatize Medicare, you mean to tell me all of us knew, but you sitting there in Congress and you didn't know? Let's go on.
So the CPC just had a meeting about it this week, and I'm working with CPC members to figure out what we're going to do.
All right, you should definitely look into this ACO program.
I definitely will.
It's putting Medicare giving it over to Wall Street. It's the same crap that Obama tried to do with Social Security, that trimmed CPI.
Yes. Okay. No, for sure.
So, I mean, that has to be stopped.
Yes.
So he's trying to tell him it needs to be stopped because this is similar to something that happened under Obama and also under Trump. I'm going to show you that in that article in just a second. But I guess he didn't really appreciate being filmed. I'm assuming it was Lucy who was filming because Jamaal Bowman was like, "You got her over here filming me, man."
I agree with you.
So you count on you to, like,
of course, man. If you follow my career, you know you can. So you don't have to approach me like this.
Bro, look.
Here we go with the PMC talking point. My resume speaks for itself. If you follow my career, you know that you can trust me. You don't have to approach me like this. Flash, here's my resume. So we just supposed to trust what's written about you on paper. You see that move? Did you see that move? Here's my resume. Just look at that. And you trust what I'm going to do. Don't look at the way I've been voting in Congress the past couple of years. Don't look at that. Just look at my resume.
If you follow my career, you know all I do is fight against the privatization of public resources in public schools, in healthcare, and everything, especially public schools, because that's my background. That's what we talk.
Yes, your background is public schools, but this conversation is about Medicare, privatizing Medicare. This ain't about public schools. And I say this as someone who has an education background. That's where I come from, education system. But that's not what the conversation is about. So even the excuse of just look at my resume, even your resume don't fit this moment at this point in time, Jamaal. Your resume has nothing to do with Medicare being privatized.
In public schools, in healthcare, and everything, especially public schools, because that's my background. That's what we talking about.
I ain't even trying. I'm not even trying to hear it. I'm not trying to hear it. Because Jacobin of all outlets. Jacobin warned people about it. Now we know Jamaal Bowman don't know. Apparently, according to the interview I saw with Marianne Williamson on Status Quo, apparently she didn't know either. Something isn't right. But I'm going to remind you. Now, this is from Jacobin. We're not going to read the whole article. We're going to go straight to the point. Joe Biden is privatizing Medicare. This was written by Matthew Cunningham Cook. Hello. The Biden administration is expanding Donald Trump's Medicare privatization scheme that is forcing hundreds of thousands of seniors onto a for-profit health plan. So you mean to tell, let's look at the date. March 24th, 2022. And you mean to tell me all these people haven't heard about this? This is also reported by The Lever. I can't. Look, listen to this. A new Medicare privatization scheme developed under President Donald Trump and now being expanded under President Joe Biden is forcing hundreds of thousands of seniors onto new private Medicare plans without their consent. Something to point out. Developed under Donald Trump and continued by Joe Biden. Both these parties doing the same thing. Now, all of a sudden, people want to pretend like they didn't know this article existed. I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe. Let's go on. The development represents a troubling new dimension in the fight by corporate interests to privatize Medicare, the federal health insurance program for people 65 or older. Medicare Advantage, which allows for profit health insurers to offer privatized benefits through Medicare, already results in unexpected costs for routine procedures and wrongful denials of care. Private plans have cost Medicare an astonishing $143 billion since 2008 and are now driving some health insurers' record profits. So it's just the new direct contracting entity program similarly adds a private sector third party between patients and Medicare services. Medicare allows these intermediary companies to offer unique benefits like a gym membership coverage. But as for-profit operations, ranging private insurers to publicly traded companies to private equity firms, these intermediaries are incentivized to limit the care that patients receive, especially when they are very sick. Limit the care. You see what they're trying to do to people? This is a death care system. That's what this is. Now, let's fast forward because I told you I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'll put the article in the chat. There's another part I want to show you right about here. Privatizing Medicare. The DCE program was originally launched in April 2019 by Trump Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services under the auspice of CMS Innovation Center, known as CMMI. CMMI was created under Barack Obama's signature healthcare law. I told you it goes all the way back. The Affordable Care Act to pilot new payment models in Medicare and Medicaid without going through the formal rulemaking process that requires public comment. As a result, the new DCE program, which assigns seniors to a privatized model without their consent, has never been subject to any public scrutiny whatsoever. Let's fast forward. And this is the piece Roger Meadows is talking about here. The ACO REACH program. See, they do tricky things like they change the name, but it's the same thing. We needed to make sure that CMS continues this journey. Late last month, critics of DCE says that the Biden administration effectively expanded the DCE effort under a new name, the ACO REACH program. The new program stands for Accountable Care Organization, Realizing Equity, Access, and Community Health Model. This allows hospital-led managed care organizations to access the new Medicare privatization scheme too. Guys, this is why you can't just look at the name of a program. Names can be misleading. If you look at the name, this doesn't sound that bad, eh? If you look at the name, this doesn't sound that. Accountable Care Organization. Okay, there's going to be accountable care. Realizing equity. They're trying to get equity for everyone. Access. There's going to be more access. And community health model. All right, helping people within the community. This is why you can't just go by the name. You have to look into it. The name sounds great, but it's not really doing much. It's not really helping people. So this is what Roger Meadows was asking Jamaal Bowman about. And I'm going to put the link to this in the chat because I want you guys to please share this with other people. This article, this Jacobin article. I think I put the link there. Yeah. Share this with other people, especially, family members or friends that you know that are on Medicare. That's right, Sherry. They're just buzzwords. Yeah, it sounds great, but what does it actually do? So, again, this article was written last year. Joe Biden is privatizing healthcare. So that's that. Now, I think they're doing the right thing by confronting the politicians and asking them these questions. Honestly, at this point, AOC and Jamaal Bowman and them, they're actually making it worse for themselves. They would have been better off answering these questions probably the first time it happened. They would have been better off just answering the question. Why did you vote to send the billions to Ukraine? Do you know about this privatization scheme happening under Joe Biden in reference to Medicare? And then maybe people would be still coming up to you every event that you have, asking you this question. At this point in time, how does AOC make this stop? She answers the question and she stops voting against her DSA and her Justice Democrats principles. That's how you do it.